What's up, everybody? It's Warren Hampton.
And Roisha Hampton.
In this episode, we're continuing to talk about us healing, but not just for us, but for our children, the next generation.
Yes, we don't want those systems involved in our families any longer. Let's heal so we don't spill.
Let's go.
Not for real.
For real?
It's Warren Hampton.
Welcome back, everybody. Listen, if you haven't seen the previous episode, you might want to go back to the previous episode and watch that right quick, because we're going to be talking about part 2 here on why it's important that you heal so you don't spill.
Heal so you don't spill. I like the way you did that.
Yeah, like he's ill.
Yeah, he's
okay.
ill.
So let's just get into it.
So
we talked about the impact of colonization in families, particularly Black families, but Indigenous families as well, because we see a lot of the same issues mirrored in both communities, just expressed differently. So healing is important for self, it's important for your relationship with self and your relationship with God, but also with romantic partners, friendships, all of the like, right? Our families, how we treat our aunts and uncles, how we treat our elders, all of those things really is contingent upon how we treat ourselves.
How we treat humans.
What was the meme that you saw yesterday that was like, may your quality of life be the same way as you treat Black people?
Yes.
Words to live by.
For real.
Just want to throw that in there.
Seriously.
Yeah, so let's talk about that.
Yeah.
How are Black families treated? I think that this can go a number of different ways. But again, I want to acknowledge that there are oppressive systems in place to disproportionately impact people of color, particularly Black people, Indigenous communities, and Hispanic communities.
Black and brown.
Black and brown. We all in it together. This is a fight for our life.
And immigrants too.
Well, they would be in the brown category.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, I just didn't mean U.S. citizens. Like, it doesn't matter if you're a citizen or not. Like, if you are a person of color, there's an oppressive system that may try to have your name. It's targeted towards us.
Well, then we get into the context of intersectionality.
Yes.
And that's a whole can of worms. But
You're
specifically,
so smart.
Thanks, baby.
Better do it.
Okay. So specifically for Black families. Now, as a social worker, I can say I have been in hundreds of homes.
Yeah.
I have seen and observed hundreds of families. I have seen so many parent visits that I don't care to talk about. But what I have learned from that is if we do not heal, we perpetuate these systems and these cycles from being in our families. Yeah. So we spoke a little bit about the criminal justice system in the prior episode. Yeah. And today I want to talk as a social worker, how important it is that you heal before you have kids, because Child Protective Services literally searches out per zip code for socioeconomic status to see where we're going to see the most removals, the most children in foster care. Wow. It's the same thing that they do for mass incarceration. They will take a zip code and say, this is going to be a moneymaker for the prison that we're going to put up here.
And reading scores.
Right, which are all the pipelines to prison, which we know that, right? So if we know that, we should do something about it. Right. So that's what I'm coming to, because Child Protective Services is a beast. If y'all have ever been involved, typically there is a 12-month, 14-month window to reconcile any kind of issue that you have, whether that is domestic violence, because kids do get taken away from domestic violence, whether that is a child who is experiencing obesity. Like, there are so many different things.
They do?
Yes.
For domestic violence, kids get taken away?
Well, they have now changed policy to where they want to put services in the home, because we now know that it's more harmful to remove a child from their home.
Yes.
So we understand that now. Like, but hey, there's some times where these people get called on every single weekend, and now we just got to do it, right?
Well,
so anytime there's alcohol involved, we're coming into the holidays. That's a thing. Alcohol parties.
It increased during the pandemic because people were all in
drinking
the house.
More, put a lot of stress on police, put a lot of stress on social workers because of what everybody was experiencing, the pandemic. So,
and before you get into that, though, I want to say that you are not just a social worker; you are a healer.
I'm a healer, baby.
So, you are a healer.
Yes.
And so that's why it is very intentional about the language and that we use, and your passion, the reason for your passion is because of what you come from and how God has shaped your life for you to become an alchemist, to turn your pain into purpose, which is why you care so much about these things. It's not just hot topics. It's because you like me, like you want to see people be better humans. Now For Real is about what is the moment in your life that you know it was an aha moment where you changed the trajectory of your life with some information, some insight that made you want to be better. So that's why you are so passionate, because you are a healer.
Thank you. And I will push it and
functions
say,
as a social worker.
Yes. And I will push it and not only say when you get the information, but it's really the action. Lots of people can walk around talking therapeutic language, are able to regurgitate lots of terminology, can tell you what you need to do. But when you look at their lives or their relationships, is this person in is this person in a healthy relationship with another? Do they always have issues? Maybe not want to take advice from them. You want to take advice from people who are solid, who have 30, 40-year marriage advice that they can say this is. So I just want to keep reiterating that because the internet got people out here feeling and talking like they're experts, speaking on heterosexual relationships, and you actually a lesbian. So we can just cool it for a second. So we got to cool it with all of these non-credentialed people who are elevated and given platforms to speak about topics that they have no... Okay, so specifically Child Protective Services and why this is important. It's important because I feel like I have seen at least 2, now 3 generations since I've been a social worker, almost 15 years. I can't even believe I'm saying that, but I have a career of social work for almost 15 years. I have seen children who I have had age out, have children. Them children are in foster care too. So it's important because the cycles of abuse, whether that is substance or, substance abuse disorder, or if it's alcoholism, but also just because we do not know how to communicate. We don't know how to have healthy relationships that, these blow-ups can happen.
They lash out.
Oh my God. We have to get under control. We have to, because not only do our children also see and witness and exhibit these things. We wonder why kids go to school and they have these erratic behaviors and they're explosive too. They're explosive because their parents are explosive. So 9 times out of 10, when I'm coming to the teacher and whatever behaviors the children is exemplifying is that of
the mother, the father, a product of their environment.
A product, or they're, there's just no outlet. So
and I want to give an analogy for that, because when you have the boiling water analogy, you cannot see your reflection in boiling water. When your emotions are high, when you're intoxicated, first of all, you're at a low vibration, but you cannot make rational decisions when you are emotional and in survival mode. We've talked about that before. Yes,
because your prefrontal cortex, all the decision making, all the things, your amygdala gets hijacked. You cannot make rational decisions. And even when you and I get angry and I know okay, hold up, I'm too hyped. I need to cool out. That is the fight, flight, freeze, or fawn that you're experiencing in that moment. And if you are able to catch it, it really is a skill. That's why therapy is important, because it teaches you a level of self-awareness to get into your body, to understand your body and mind and how they're speaking to each other. Is my nervous system calm? Am I shaking? Am I shrinking? There's so many things that we're experiencing. Therapy helps us understand what physiological things are happening to us and why. Okay?
Yes. Can I put a pause right there and say, it has been such a blessing to heal my nervous system.
Yes,
to be at
same.
peace, to be calm. Black men, heal yourself. Heal, man. Like, heal that little boy inside you. Heal that brother that couldn't speak up, because you become a better man. Like, you a better human. And then you can look back and say, thank you for surviving all that to get me to this point. And if I didn't have a calm nervous system, if I didn't turn my boiling water off so that I could see my reflection and see God's reflection in me, then I things could have been worse with the situation that we went through.
Oh yeah.
But also being in there, if I didn't have a calm, I wouldn't have been able to go through my cognitive behavioral therapy, go through holding on to love, like just breath work, prayer, meditation, remembering the word in my heart, because those things are what anchor us. It is not the money. It is not the superficial things. It is not what we think make us. When you truly discover who you are, who you just want to heal more. You want to know more of who you are. You want to heal more of the broken pieces.
Yes.
So that's all I wanted to say.
And when you do heal those things, you are able to easily identify it in other people, whether they have done the work or whether they are stuck like Chuck, because there are
regurgitating
or delusional.
Language.
They're delusional. Like you going out every weekend doing the same thing, getting drunk. Phone dialing every man in your number to cuss out, to just this whole cycle of so healing is important. First of all, I'm gonna keep saying it. Self-love, self-healing, healing. Unpack that shit that happened to you.
Come on.
Because that's what happened. It happened to you. And you should, number one, process that through therapy. Number two, seek any kind of healing. And for me, being indigenous, I'm weaving in all of those practices. I'm doing Western medicine. I'm doing indigenous medicine because I had to get to a place of my own care plan to say, this is what works for me. I'm going to take these pieces, put them in my toolbox. When I feel myself getting elevated, I know what tool to access so that I can keep my nervous system calm, which I'm still. Every time I tell somebody about what happened in June, they're like, bro, you didn't hit her back. Like, you didn't rage out. You are better than me. You're better than me. And I'm like, I know I am.
Sorry.
I know
you are. You were very calm.
Because you laying multiple punches on me. And I'm still looking at you like,
I'm giving you grace.
I'm giving you
really mercy.
Mercy. Because also what I know and what I experienced growing up is somebody trying to fight you, one of us limping back. It's not going to be pretty. And the thing is, we don't use the police. You're going to go home, be bloody.
Black eye.
Okay.
go
sit in the corner. And when you go to your family, they're going to be like, damn.
What happened?
And you be like, shit, you should see her. You think I'm bad.
Right.
I got one black eye. But for real, that's just how we do on the res. And like, for me, I was like, yo, I have a career. I have a reputation. I have a business. I have a nonprofit. I have shit to lose. I need to make sure that I am protecting my assets, not only with trademarks, but with my own, my integrity, my healing, like
your meekness.
So say all that to say, if her baby was in the home on that day, so obviously he wasn't, because that's CPS removal. Like that's immediate. You got issues. It's violent behavior going around here, and it's unsafe for the children. It was unsafe for your mother, but it's definitely unsafe for a person who cannot protect or defend themselves. So we have to heal, because guess what? We're putting our babies at risk.
Yes. And passing that brokenness down.
That's what we're talking about, generational curses. That's what we mean. When you get involved and we had a friend who reached out to us too, who was like, hey, like I'm in a toxic marriage. The CPS been called 8 times. And this is some person who is wealthy, who I consider wealthy, who affluent, doesn't have issues, but it's like, yo, we are really hiding behind social media. Because when we get to the place of people acknowledging who we are, what we do, why we do it, they feel safe enough to come to us and say like, yo, I'm experiencing this and I don't even know how to. But my point is, you are now creating all kinds of stuff in children.
I know.
And then they go to school. They cannot think. They are unable to participate or retain information. They are also testing at lower rates. There's so many things happening inside a child while they're trying to develop that if their safety is compromised,
stress.
Think about how we feel when we go to work, when we have an argument or somebody, you know, not us, but I'm saying anybody. You do not feel right.
No,
you feel
unsettled. You it's hard to, and especially a child when their brain is firing so much, trying to develop.
And trying to take in a lot of information, right? So you're not telling them what's exactly going on. They're just trying to put pieces together. They see erratic behavior. They're wondering, is this something I did? Do I need to, how am I fitting into this picture? What's going to happen to me? Am I going to be safe? Am I going to be in this home? There's so many things that happen to children.
Am I in trouble? Did I cause it?
And if I tell my teacher, I know I'm going to be in trouble from my parent, whichever, mom or dad, whoever they're staying by. So it's like, there's so many benefits to healing and there's so many consequences for not healing.
You are right. And like that other saying says, if you don't reveal it, you can't heal it. You can't heal what you don't reveal. And if you keep trying to hide it on social media, hide it from your kids, telling your kids to keep secrets, the devil works in secrecy. God works in silence. He can heal in silence. That's why you need to isolate yourself and get away and pull away from people who are always those voices in your head. You need therapy. In this, as black people in America,
we need therapy.
We should have free therapy.
I mean,
first of all, because of the epigenetic stuff we carry.
Because of the
constant
systems of oppression.
Yes. And it's hard being black in America.
Seriously.
And we need that. And we built this country for free.
In the workplace, it's hard being who you want to be in the workplace.
Hairstyles, dress.
These are things that I feel are on the surface because like that we've known about. They talk about it so much. We got hair policy going through like crazy. But my thing is not being able to be in full leadership, not being able to execute the job that you are hired to do because you have to check every box with your manager who says this is okay now. Like and you have more education, more experience, like those systems of oppression all day long. But but
getting back to what you were saying about the children and passing that down, like it sparked a memory of Rachel and how the kids went through a disagreement. But I bring it up because your best friend Rashonda, because the way she has parented her twins and children has really been a blessing to see.
We should just say it. So this is what happened.
Yeah, I want you to know. I was setting you up to say it.
Okay.
Because it was beautiful.
So I was visiting my god twins, and if y'all know me, I'm sorry. They're my life, and they are seriously the most hilarious and
intelligent,
genius babies ever. And so Rachel came in and she was fussing and crying, and usually she gonna tell you what happened from start to finish. You don't have to worry about a camera. She gonna have it recorded down in her memory. And so we know she was telling the truth. And so her cousin came in and we were like, okay, there's a disagreement here. what's going on? She tells a story, and he's like, do we treat people we love that way? No, we don't. Okay, well, what do you need to say?
Right.
I'm sorry, Rachel. You know, and Rachel was not having it.
Right.
Rachel was like, I'm sorry for,
right.
Like, there's more to that. I don't hear your accountability. I don't hear what you did to me. I don't hear you taking full responsibility of how you hurt me.
Yes.
And so he was like, I'm sorry for da 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 da. And she was like, cool. You know, okay, you're forgiven. Like, let's go play. But I had to laugh and cry in the same moment because it was such a genuine display of how great parenting is when you can teach your children how to take accountability for their actions, how to resolve conflict, how to give an appropriate apology, acceptance and forgiveness. There was so much modeled in that I was just like, you guys make me so excited to become a parent because this is exactly what we want. We want healed parents.
Yes, we do.
Pouring into brilliant children with a calm nervous system, with the ability to say what they are thinking, what they are feeling, what they're experiencing. And I just look at Rachel like that's the little girl that I should have been.
Yes.
I should have been protected. I should have been safe. I should have been, elevated with my voice, and my gifts should have been cultivated and explored. But because I had so much going on internally, whether that was my safety being compromised or, experiencing physical abuse, verbal abuse, violence, experiencing sexual abuse, there's so many things happening in me that partnered with not being able to be expressive
and use your voice
and use my voice. So much trapped in my body, so much trapped in my heart. So we want to be able,
and thank God it's released now.
I mean, hey, let's shatta.
Thank you, and still releasing. It's
it's an everyday thing to choose to be,
forgiving and loving and caring.
It is not easy. I mean, we go down the list every day and every morning, but guess who also forgives us every day?
Right. Come on. His mercies are new every morning. Hey, great is your faithfulness. I felt the Baptist deacon putting out the folding chairs at a missionary Baptist church on that. Hey!
So seriously, that's how we should be thinking, right? Like if we're
seriously
having to forgive people who have harmed us every day, and we could put boundaries on people who can't quite catch up with the accountability or take responsibility, those people deserve boundaries. But if somebody is willing to say, hey, you know what, can we sit down? I know I have hurt you. I would like to talk it out. If they can do that, then we can talk about the boundary being lifted.
Yes. You said if someone, I would clarify say a healed person that is mature and loves themselves and takes accountability for their actions will say, I have wronged you.
Yeah.
And I want to make it right.
Right.
Can you release me from my debt? And people, I remember when I posted about my trauma and the stuff that we experienced this summer, and somebody said, you don't need to be talking about this. But we talk about Jesus's trauma every Sunday. We talk about he was nailed. He was whooped. He was crucified. First of all, that's traumatic. We talk about his, but I can't talk about mine.
We can't be silencing people's stories.
Listen.
Number one, if this happened to me, best believe I'm going to tell it. Storytelling is what? Us getting free by our testimony.
Revelation 12:11.
Okay, thank you, somebody. Hello.
Overcome by the blood of the blood.
Okay, but for real though. So that don't even go hand in hand. And so we have to tell our stories. And the more we tell our story, the more we're free from it.
That's it. No matter if the abuser is still alive or not.
Right. But if
all frauds will be exposed. I said in 2023, all liars will be exposed. Listen, or whatever the flip flop was, truth tellers are winning right now. We see that in society. You can cover up stuff as long as you want, but judgment comes from the house of God. And righteousness and justice are the foundation of his throne. And so a lot of us are we're grown, but we're silent children on the inside.
Ooh, until we're not. Because that actually reminded me about what I had to do when I go around. You know what I'm saying? So this is what happened. So great example.
Yeah.
I had to set a new boundary with my birth mother.
Yeah.
Because when I was 19, I met them for the first time, kind of like unwillingly. That was not a choice for me. And even that, me going through something that I didn't want to go through, that I should have said, hey, I'm not comfortable with this. But because I didn't express myself or have a voice, I found myself experiencing more shit because I didn't use my voice. So in addition to this summer, the remnants of this summer, really what has transpired, also had me, it was almost like a redo. Like my inner child was able to say, you know what? I'm not that person that's just going to sit here and be respectful because you're an elder, because you're this, because you're going to listen to me. You're going to listen to what I have to say.
Yes.
So I had you, because my birth mother be, go easy on her. She ain't well. But there's a line that has to be drawn. Crack it. Damn, there's a line that has to be drawn that says, I can't allow you to continuously hurt me.
Yes, I know this is a serious moment, but remember that meme that says, do we realize we are dealing with people from the crack era?
Yeah, the crack generation era. Yeah, and now I'm serious. It's impacting them. You can see it. If you know what
you can lie and say crack is whack all you want, Whitney, but we know crack when we see it.
Like if A plus B is over on Z, what happened to the other 23 letters? So there's a lot to 23. There's a lot that we can now see because we have healed, and it's like, damn, this person may just go easy on. So. Well, A plus B and Z. That's...
Oh, look how you did that, man. Okay, I see what you did. I thought you meant the total. We was watching the old episode about math, and I'm like, and then Nana wanted me to help her with the math. I'm still trying to do math. Go ahead.
So I'm saying all that to say, I knew when I was like, yo, I am the shit. I have like passed all levels. I'm like top healed. Like, let's go. I'm exercising all my things, all my tools, because I had to face my birth mother, her erratic behavior, and her thinking that is just wrapped up in a victim mentality that, hey, like, yo, I'm actually the victim between y'all two's foolery. Like, I'm the victim. And if you still can't see it at this age of 35, baby, I can't keep doing this with you. Right. So I had to set a firm boundary. And I thank you as my husband for initiating that, because I felt like I didn't feel that because as somebody who's an elder, like because of my cultural upbringing. Like I can't think of a time I've cussed an elder out or raised my voice or, just highly disrespectful to. But I was like, you're about to make me disrespectful, and I need to be clear with you. And this could be the last time that I'm talking to you. So I really need you to listen. Yeah. And XYZ. Mm-hmm. So I just want to say that there are moments that are going to test you, and let's see how healed you are. Yes. I.e., let me hit you several times, physically assault you, and let's see how healed you are.
So that you hit me back, and I can say, I'm not. We got meekness over here,
and I don't want to like hurt you, because you're also playing with people who have a real trauma, real history. You wouldn't play with a World War II vet. You wouldn't play with a Vietnam vet. You wouldn't play with the Iraqi war vet. No, you wouldn't play with none, because
spaz any moment.
PTSD can come in and they gonna rock your world
any moment.
So the same way that we have that same grace or maybe meekness or gentleness rather, with people who have experienced such violence and that they have PTSD and they could just wild out, or they're trained assassins. Yeah. You're not going to push and poke the bear. No, because you're conscious of what they're capable of. So I feel like that's another thing, is because you're so meek, people want to poke.
I know.
And you know what we're capable of. Maybe you do, maybe you don't. But for me, I was like, I know what I'm capable of. And it can have an impact on my career, on my business, on my nonprofit, on my relationships, on my network, everything that I have worked hard for and cultivated. Like, this one decision can impact everything. And I think that we don't have a calm nervous system enough to go through the process of elimination of how this can impact me and impact my future, impact my children. People people get evicted.
I know.
For domestic violence. I'm tired of calling the police. Now landlords can exercise their right to remove you because now you don't have no place. Now you got an eviction on your record. Well, like, it's just a snowball effect.
It is. And being a person with firsthand experience, you really feel like you're going through the Jesus's journey, like being innocent and somebody lying on you being crucified, you being arrested,
your reputation,
reputation, it affects everything. When someone is not healed, they want revenge. And God said, vengeance is mine, says the Lord. You are not God. You are not Holy Spirit Jr. You are not the Christ.
And let's be clear, when you do take on vengeance for yourself, you are playing God.
Yeah.
You are. You may act like you just
preach, mother.
Ha. You know what I'm saying? You just sitting right next to Jesus like, I'm your best bud. But you over here being vengeful than a mother.
Yeah, but but the thing is like, people don't measure people's character of healing by the word of God. Like, there's a fruit of the Spirit. Galatians 5. We can just love, peace, joy, gentleness, self-control, patience. Like, there are things that we should see in your life as a good human being, even if you're not a believer. I've had more atheists and people that were spiritual and new agers that have treated me better than most people that I've seen in church all my life.
And we know that's a consequence of religious or church hurt. Like, every person who I've seen as an atheist is because they've been harmed in some way.
Or it's a consequence of the lack of application and ignorance to God's word. I don't give people a pass on that. But I know that we have to really deal with, because even when I was on that show, I saw brothers confess how they were abused. And then I saw it on the show and I saw people talking about them online. I'm like, yes, you are clearly
gay,
not attracted to women.
Yeah.
So yes, you are clearly gay. And that, yes, now they are living their truth now.
Yeah.
But, as a shepherd, I know when people start confessing to me because they know I feel safe. If men and women feel safe to tell me their trauma and what has happened to them, they know I'm a healer as well. And so to be on the opposite of that and people paint you, it's like, you really got to know who you are. And you really have to you have to love yourself. You have to be self-aware, and you have to be self-focused, not self-centered. And it's okay to set boundaries from people who are fucking crazy. And I have to say it like that because when people are crazy, they will drive you crazy. They will bring you
because it's so normal.
Misery loves company.
I saw, because I hate to keep bringing this up, but I remember seeing your mother's daughter have a whole domestic violence post about, I used to think that if I could get a man to hit me, that meant he loved me. And it's like, bro, you still think that.
Yeah.
You still think that, but you don't realize the behavior that you're perpetuating is what you are getting.
And
like,
who was the healed brother who saved her from those domestic violence, moved her out within, anyway. But here's the thing.
I also wanted to say everything that you're saying about self-love and stuff. So going back to children.
Yeah. And
they
I
are constantly
end on an affirmation after that.
Okay.
It was so beautiful, Rachel.
Yes. They are constantly observing their world. They're constantly taking in information. A lot of people think that children are at a lower IQ, no, they are like little adults, seriously. They are taking in a lot of things.
I'm not a baby.
So if you, right, Enzo, I'm not a baby. Okay, brother, you're not a baby. But if you are a person or a parent who's exhibiting these positive traits on how to love yourself, what does self-esteem look like, what does conflict, they will see these things before their eyes.
Yes.
Even how we handle stress.
Yes.
They are constantly watching.
Yep.
So either you're going to teach them something good or you're going to teach them something negative. And either way, they're learning.
Yep.
They're either going to get stronger in those good things or they're going to get deeper in those negative things.
Yes.
So when I was listening to you say that, I just get so excited about us becoming parents together one day, because we have such a way of going through life in a different way than we were brought up.
Yeah.
Both of us.
Yeah.
And it gets me excited to be able to say that our child will never have to experience generational curses from that capacity. They'll never have to experience what it means to be or have an unsettling nervous system.
Yes.
They won't experience anxiety and worry. And like, there's so many, and if they're talented, they're going to get up there and know that they're the shit. Like, you better do it, girl. You know,
your thing, 21.
So that's how I know, typically, if you are a child or if you're like you're firstborn, if we can exhibit great self-esteem, they should be confident. They should, because they're mirroring and watching, emulating the behaviors that they see. So we want us to have kids with great characteristics that not just look good outwardly, like we know how to be respectful and presentable to the community. To put on. We know how to do that. But then we don't have good relationships. We are not secure. We do not have good self-esteem. We are, so it's just so many things that I feel like, again, which is also why you should wait to have children. Wait to have children.
I think every man should have a vasectomy until he is mentally stable to have children. It's a lifesaver. Yes, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No. I mean, I say all that to say that's the answer. That's how we keep these systems, child protective systems.
Say it again. Don't have children. Say it again.
I mean, you can start there.
Just say it again for the people in the back.
Don't have children if you are not at your most mature, healed, and love of self and self-aware, so that you don't get into a toxic relationship and create children underneath that umbrella and then expect them to be normal functioning adults in society. You just replicated yourself and all of the toxic behaviors and the negative things and attributes that you trained into them because they've been watching you.
Yeah.
And now it's like, okay, you're an adult. Go ahead and be an adult. And it's like, well, actually, I just know how to put on. I don't really know about work ethic. I don't really know about self-esteem. I don't really know about how to take constructive criticism.
Because they don't know. The parents don't know.
That's my point. So in order to get out of, and then you do, kids get involved in other things, right? So now I feel poorly about myself, so I'm gonna drink, or I'm gonna hang out with the wrong crowd, or I'm gonna dabble into some substances. I'm gonna get and feel included in a sense of belonging by joining a gang. It is a vicious cycle.
It is.
So it really starts with loving yourself, healing yourself, being at a place of contentment with your life, being and loving what is. Oh, and I also, if you are a clinician.
Yes.
This.
Boom.
Decolonizing Therapy.
Yes.
Love this book. If you're a clinician, pastor, therapist, whatever, this is necessary. And it's by Jennifer Mullen. She's a psychiatrist who is also Afro-Indigenous, who gives great tips and research. It's really research.
Because the DSM-5, it doesn't relate to Black people as much.
It doesn't relate to Indigenous communities, which is inclusive of African people.
See, you're so smart.
Thank you.
You said it. I just be like Black people. I'm old school. I'd be like,
it's just not inclusive
Black.
Because you know why?
You're right.
It's rooted in identity, and this is how I do want to kind of close this. I see a lot of children, especially Black and brown children, who are having so many issues because their parents don't know who they are, but also because they don't know who they are. Yeah. Teach your children something other than like social media and YouTube. Teach them who they are. TikTok dances. Because if they don't know who they are, they search for themselves in other things that can temporarily fulfill that, which could be a negative thing. And there's a lot in that. Yeah. And ask me how I know.
Yeah, and that's so good. And I would like to say, like, my parents taught me who I was as a Black person.
Yes.
But not who I was as a Black child, like a developing human.
Yeah.
It's different than just your Blackness.
They taught you Black history.
Yes.
We can just be specific.
Okay. Well,
they taught you Black history.
Yeah.
Which allowed you to know more about yourself and not buy into the whitewashing of the history and the narrative that they wanted you to have.
Yes.
Which for me, growing up in an indigenous community, I'm hearing oral history about colonialism. I'm hearing oral history about religion and what the Catholic Church has done, the impact of white people in our government. Like, I'm hearing about so much. So then when I got into the real world, it's like I am very aware of how white people operate. Not all white people but I'm very aware of how these oppressive systems operate and how they are structured and set up to kill, steal, and destroy.
And I was in the Baptist church with a Black Baptist church, people repeating what Master had said and giving them the white man's Christianity. I mean, we were still celebrating the watch night service, like wait until we slaves. I'm like, nigga, we free. We've been free since 1865. Maybe that's why my 8 fell off my bracelet, because y'all forgot to start again. And so we singing these slave songs, and it just feels like oppression. But, you know, we grew up very differently. So if we thought that was it, we thought that was God, until you really heal and open your mind. And I see God is so much bigger.
God is in you.
And when you heal yourself, you find out more of God when you love yourself, because God is in you. The kingdom of God is in you. Luke 17:21, Yeshua says that the kingdom of God is in you. And if you want to access real healing, start tapping into you first. Be honest with you. Stop lying to people. Stop lying to yourself.
Stop lying to yourself.
And you said something, and we'll close on this, and I want to give an affirmation. But there's something I'll say at the end, but there was a meme about checking your elders, and we were taught like we had to respect them.
Of course.
Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Can you paraphrase that real quick?
Oh, because I don't remember the meme.
Oh, well, it was something about we don't have to be around our traumatic elders and things.
Oh, no, because again, once you heal, you will see how your parents are, your grandparents.
Yes.
You'll see all the trauma in them.
Perpetuated trauma.
And again, to be fair, it's rooted in survival.
Of course.
Which that's where my past is always at. It's rooted in survival. But it's a different day and age. We got to heal.
And yes, we do. And about the children thing, I want to go back to that. There's a prophet that put out a song in the 80s, one of the biggest selling album of all time. Mm-hmm. You might have heard of him. He's second in popularity next to Jesus Christ. He said, if you can't feed your baby,
then don't
have a baby. And if you think maybe, then don't have a baby. You be always trying. Stop that child from crying. Cussing, stealing, lying. Oh, my baby's slowly dying. And if you will be honest with yourself, I know for me, I wasn't ready to have children when I did. And I wanted to make sure my children weren't going to put themselves in that situation. So I tried to prepare them as much as I could. But it is really about, you healing, so you don't pass your broken child, traumatic, or I don't want to use broken, but the traumatized child, the surviving child down through that DNA. And so there is a affirmation that I love. It's real simple, and we'll end on this. I am seen. I am loved. I am heard. I am protected. I am safe. And most of the times, none of us had the opportunity to say those things. And we still don't have them now.
And we don't believe them.
And that's what's hurting us.
You got to believe them.
That's what's hurting us.
You can say it all day, but you got to believe it.
I am. Declare those things so that you can be healed, because God is in you. I am is in you. So bring the I am healed. I am whole. I am healthy. All of those things. I am joyful. I am love. I am at peace. Like, that helped me. Just writing affirmations on the mirror and saying them out loud, listening to healing vibration and bowls and all those things, helped me heal myself.
And you know why too. And I know it sounds crazy and cuckoo, but there is a reason why therapists, whoever, healers offer this. It's because it really does change the brain structure.
Yes.
It creates new pathways in your brain. So when you say I am, I mean, it's activated. We are literally creating new pathways into our brain. And even something experienced that might be traumatic, going back and creating a new memory, it's like the same idea. So you have to say them, and you have to say the affirmations, but you have to believe them, because when you believe them, your brain tells you your brain will believe everything that you tell it.
Yeah.
If you say, oh, I suck. Yeah, well, I'm going to believe I suck.
Yeah.
You know? So if we believe the negative, we have to believe the positive.
That's good.
If I believe I am safe, okay, I'm going to create calm nervous system. Yes. My brain is believing that I'm safe. Yes. I'm starting to settle down. I'm going to take deep breaths. There's so much in that that has been scientifically proven. The science, Rasputia.
Yes, science.
It's been scientifically proven. So thank you for offering the affirmation, because these are different tools that we believe in that have helped our healing, and it's ongoing. It's not like, oh, I can hang it up now. Like, I'm still in therapy years later. Yeah. I'm still bringing up memories that I have suppressed, that have been dug back there. But every day it's a journey, and you really just wake up choosing to do better and wanting to be a better human. And so with that, it's not for real.
Like and subscribe.